After a very underwhelming 16 Pro last year, and an even bigger embarrassment with the Apple Intelligence, I knew that Apple really had to deliver with this year's devices, if they wanted to win back the customers and the public perception. After using this device heavily for the past 2 months, traveling to Japan with it and taking a bunch of photos and videos, oh boy did they deliver, because of these 3 key changes. Let me start off with the structural redesign, both on the outside but especially inside the phone. It really started being kind of a meme that for the past 6 generations, we've been getting the same phone every year. And when these leaks with the new linear camera design started going around, I was very excited and really thought it looked cool. So when the final design with the same layout for lenses and just this new plateau was confirmed, considering also the aluminum downgrade with this two-tone look, I was very skeptical and, to be honest, kind of disappointed. But immediately after the presentation, when I realized what a genius engineering move this whole redesign actually was, all these changes have a very distinct and unique purpose. Let me explain. On the outside, this is by far the toughest iPhone they ever released. I'm one of the very few people who's just straight up raw dogging my phone. I never have either a case on it or a screen protector. And despite never breaking any of my past iPhones, you just could never avoid scratches here and there that definitely accumulate over the years. But this glass, it just doesn't break or get any scratches whatsoever. And the unibody aluminum build allowed them to have the glass on the back only where the wireless charging is taking place, which just even further decreases the chance of your phone breaking. But the real change is actually happening on the inside, as this new plateau allowed them to, apart from the camera sensors, put the whole brain of the phone, including the insane new A19 Pro, which is at this point MacBook level performance, and the other chips like N1 and cellular at the top, and have the entire bottom 2/3 of the phone solely for the battery. And how good is the battery? Well, as someone who could never really use the Pro Max because of its size, the only thing I was always jealous of was the battery, as on the previous Pro models you start with a decent usage, but considering the degradation, after only a year of use, I wouldn't even be able to go through a full day with it. But this time, a year-over-year battery size improvement was 20% for the Pro model, by far the most out of the new models, which puts it at the same battery life as the 16 Pro Max, which was the previous smartphone battery king. This is of course for the eSIM only models, which I was lucky enough to get in Japan for both me and my wife. But how does this reflect on the real world use? During our honeymoon trip, we were out for most of the day taking photos and videos of absolutely everything, navigating, using it on high brightness, and I would still get home with 20 to 30% left. So there's just no way to kill this phone in a day. Now for my wife's Pro Max, as she's a lighter user than me, it's a 2-day phone easily. She sometimes finishes her day with like 60%, which is even better for longevity, as it allows us to decrease the charging limit on our devices and still get the same experience. And the last thing, which for some of you will be the biggest change depending on your priorities, these new cameras, and especially the new telephoto, which I use by far the most. To quote one of Apple's executives, they're not competing with other smartphone cameras, but with professional DSLRs and mirrorless. And with my old 15 Pro, it was almost on that level. But with this, I think that 95% of people will never notice a difference. And that is pretty much already a win for them. The photos look incredible and stay consistent from the ultra-wide all the way to 8x. So now you have a new lens that starts at a 100mm equivalent and goes to 200 or 8 times magnification, and the quality of shots is stunning. While we were in Japan, I got a new lens for my camera, and I was searching for a zoom lens that will be a nice aperture but also cover as much range as it can, and I eventually landed on the Tamron 17-70 f2.8. But considering that I use the APS-C camera, that comes to around 25 to 105 millimeters, which is roughly what this iPhone does from 1x to 4x. And you can take a look at some shots taking at different lengths with both of them and try to figure out which is which. But honestly, as I was editing those, I noticed that it's sometimes really hard to figure out if you just look blindly. The photos look really sharp and the portraits have a very natural depth of field because the sensor now collects up to 50% more light and the zoom goes all the way up to 40 times. But the photos will still look acceptable up to around 15 to 20x, depending on the lighting. So for my wife, after we came back from the trip, we just sold her old DSLR camera altogether and agreed that from now on we will just be sharing this Sony if she really needs it, but for almost everything, this new iPhone is more than capable. I always prefer to have the minimal number of things possible for everything, which is why I sold all my other camera lenses and just got this one. But honestly, I can already see that one point in the future where I might sell my camera altogether and only use my phone, which was actually Apple's goal all along. If you want to get the absolute best phone gimbal there is, which helped me while filming this trip to Japan, and bring your videography to the next level, use the link below and get an Insta360 Flow 2 Pro. You can now get it at a discount for a very limited time, and it has object tracking powered by Deep Track 4.0, which intelligently locks onto people, animals, or even specific objects with incredible precision, ensuring they stay perfectly framed no matter the scene dynamics. Plus, with features like 360 degrees infinite pan tracking and seamless reacquisition, it effortlessly followed me through bustling streets and serene temples, letting me capture buttery smooth 4K footage without ever missing a beat. Let me know down in the comments, is a phone slowly replacing cameras in your life as well? Don't forget to like and subscribe and visit my website, and I'll see you very soon in the next one. Thanks for watching.